Hello, everyone, and welcome to live coverage of the NCAA Division II Midwest Regional. It's semifinal round action tonight here inside Jim Wink Arena. I'm Rob Bentley, joined by Sandy Golston as we get set for a big night of hoops action here in Big Rapids. Game one, the second-seeded Bellarmine Knights will take on the third-seeded Findlay Oilers, with the winner moving on to the regional championship game on Tuesday night. That'll be followed by our nightcap, the top-seeded and the home team, the Ferris State Bulldogs, against fourth-seeded Lake Superior State, meeting for the fourth time this season here in the nightcap.
Well, if the pre-tournament seeding is any indication, that everything is played out according to plan here as the top four seeds all advance from the quarterfinals to the semifinals, and that includes what's going to be a great matchup here between Bellarmine and Findlay to kick it off, and then the nightcap is going to be the fourth installment of the series between the Bulldogs and the Lake Superior State Lakers here to play out once again in Jim Wink Arena, the third of these games to play out in Jim Wink Arena this year. And if the first three games are any indication, then we're going to be in store for another good one in our nightcap here tonight.
We had an exciting day of action yesterday, day one in the quarterfinal round. Both Findlay and Bellarmine able to survive and advance here in the national tournament, coming into this regional semifinal here tonight. Both had strong second halves yesterday, with the Bellarmine Knights topping Truman State for the third time in 3 weeks. 82-65 the final score, and Findlay, of course, opened the tournament with a win over Drury of Missouri, 84-65 yesterday.
Yeah, you know, we had a chance to watch, Drury go up against the University of Findlay in that first game. And as you mentioned, they kind of felt each other out a little bit in that first game. And then as the game went on, we saw the two key players for the University of Findlay, Martise Kimbrough from that point guard position, really starts to take control of the game. And then, of course, Terrence Sullivan really stepped his game, elevated his game up, had a monster performance in that first game yesterday. And then we saw Bellarmine come back in the next game against Truman State, the second straight time that they had played them. And again, another strong second half performance by Bellarmine helped them to pull away from Truman, a Truman team that really came out and competed hard. So that all sets the stage for this first matchup here, the first of the two semifinals here to kick it off.
The Bellarmine Knights come in at 29-2 on the season, while the Findlay Oilers are 27-4 coming into tonight's regional semifinal. The winner moves on to the championship game. This game here will be a rematch of last year's Midwest Regional title game won by Bellarmine on its home floor at Knights Hall down in Louisville.
Well, they're a tough team to face down there. Of course, they're a tough team to face anywhere. When you come in with a record of 29-2 overall on the season, that means that you're pretty good no matter where you play. And so they certainly present a challenge. But, you know, you look at the University of Findlay, certainly they are a team that plays well no matter where they play. You're talking about here in these two teams to kick it off here tonight, two of the premier programs in all of NCAA Division II. And so they're going to set the really good tone here for what's going to happen here tonight.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups here for both teams prior to this contest, as we're about 6.5 minutes away from the opening tip. And we'll start first with the Bellarmine University Knights from Louisville, Kentucky, under the direction of a longtime head coach Scott Davenport, who has turned the Bellarmine program into a national power. They will start in the backcourt. Brent Bach, a 6'1 senior out of Augusta, Kentucky. He'll be a one-guard spot along with Jarek Coles, 6'1 junior out of Omaha Central High School in Omaha, Nebraska. Up front at one forward spot will be Alex Cook, a 6'7 sophomore from Louisville, along with Ben Wire, a 6'7 sophomore from Fort Thomas, Kentucky. And in the middle, Adam Eberhard, a 6'8 sophomore from Evansville. A very strong starting five here for head coach Scott Davenport and Bellarmine University.
Yeah, and this is a starting five that's played together, and they know what it takes to win and to be successful. And so that's kind of the hallmark of their program, is tradition, built on tradition and built on playing steady basketball, championship basketball. And so they present a tremendous challenge for anybody they're going to face as Bellarmine takes the court.
The Bellarmine Knights coming into Wink Arena tonight to a nice round of applause from the Bellarmine fans behind us. A good contingent of fans traveling in from Kentucky and elsewhere to watch the Bellarmine Knights. On the flip side, the University of Findlay will be playing its third game here inside Wink Arena this season. Played the Ferris State Bulldogs, the #1 seed, during the regular season in a game that went to the wire, won by the Bulldogs of Ferris State. And then, of course, yesterday a big win over Drury. They are coached by head coach Charlie Ernst, who has been able to keep this program at an elite level, taking over for a veteran head coach a while back in Ron Niekamp, who led this team to a national championship and an unblemished record back in 2009. One guard spot, they will start Austin Gardner at the point, a 6'1 senior out of Bowling Green, Ohio. He'll be joined by Martise Kimborough, a 6'1 senior from Lima, Ohio, and a prolific scorer here for Findlay University. Also in the starting trio of guards will be Elijah Kalig, a 6'3 senior from Fort Recovery, Ohio. He's a guy that's going to have a big day here for the University of Findlay from the outside. Up front at one forward spot is an All-American in Taryn Sullivan, a 6'6 senior. He'll be joined by Alex White on the front line, a 6'7 junior from Westchester, Ohio. We'll see both teams go to the bench and some capable players off the bench here for both of these ball clubs.
Yeah, when you look at quality programs, then typically they're going to have a very solid bench that they can go to. And part of having a solid bench is that they're usually some of your younger guys or veteran guys that have been in the program for a while. And so when your seniors graduate, then you have another group of guys that had an opportunity to play and play at a high level, and that just keeps the cycle going. And so your program doesn't play in peaks and valleys. And that's what you see from these two programs. And University of Findlay, a very senior-heavy starting lineup that is been in a lot of big games. And so they know what it takes to come into a game like this.
In yesterday's action in the win over Drury, the University of Findlay led by Taryn Sullivan, who had a huge second half, 26 points to earn game-high honors, went 10 of 17 from the floor, and also able to step out, knock down 4 threes in that victory yesterday for Findlay.
Yeah, you know, he really did a great job of shooting the basketball, and that's something that you would expect from key players, from star players, is that they find ways to really shoot the basketball well and put some points on the board when it counts.
Key statistic for Findlay yesterday, just 4 turnovers. They forced 18 against the Drury Panthers, outscoring the Panthers 24-7. Points off turnovers, went to a zone at parts of that second half, and it was really effective for Findlay.
Yeah, they did, and you know, that was a really kind of a subtle move in some ways, but it was a move that really turned out to be effective there, as it really changed the complexion of the game. And that's something that is a hallmark of good coaching, is that you find things that are working and you're not afraid to make changes when necessary.
We mentioned 2 games that were very similar yesterday. It was the University of Findlay outscoring Drury 50-27 in the second half. In the game that followed, it was Bellarmine outscoring Truman State 47-28 in the second half of that contest. The Knights yesterday, led by Britt Bach, who had a game-high 26 points, 11 of 17 from the floor, 3 of 7 beyond the arc, but certainly not the only scorer here for Bellarmine University. Alex Cook had 14, also 11 points for Parker Chitty and 10 for Ben Wire.
Yeah, you know, they have a lot of balance there, and they have different guys that can step up at key times of the game. And so one of the things for them is that even when one guy maybe is not necessarily getting it done, they have some other guys that can really step in and fill some roles. And I think some of the winning coaches, you heard them talk about that in the post-game press conferences, is that you have other guys that can step up and fill in roles, and that's the hallmark of a good team, that even when one of your key guys or 2 of your key guys aren't stepping up, you can find some other guys that are going to come in when they have that off night and really fill that role.
Of course, a situation like this, it's win and move on, and lose and go home. And neither one of these teams, certainly with their past experience, wants to be on the losing side of this one before it's all said and done.
In this game, you have 2 programs filled with players and coaches that are not used to losing and not used to going home too early. And so these are 2 programs that expect to be playing in games like this, and they expect to be able to rise to the challenge.
Both teams getting ready to head back to their respective benches as the 2 coaching staffs will shake hands as well. The University of Findlay and Bellarmine University will be our first regional semifinal round matchup here tonight. The Knights making their 19th appearance in the NCAA tournament, their 10th straight, and taking on a Findlay team that certainly has had plenty of success both under Ron Niekamp and Charlie Ernst, 2 programs that have both won national titles out of the Midwest region.
Yeah, they really have, and again, it starts with stability in terms of coaching, and a lot of coaches that have really been around for a while and have really had a lot of success. And going from Ron Niekamp to Charlie Ernst, they have not really missed much of a beat there, and that says a lot about the quality of their program. And so solid coaching here on both benches here, really solid coaching of the 4 teams that are remaining, not to mention even the 8 teams that started this tournament.
The University of Findlay down to our right, Bellarmine here to our left as we sit next to the Bellarmine University bench here on the home side of Jim Wink Arena. And of course, following this contest, we'll have the home team in action. The Ferris State Bulldogs, ranked second in the country, will be taking on Lake Superior State in what will be the fourth matchup of the year, second time in 1 week's time as the Bulldogs beat the Lakers in the GLIAC Tournament Championship game for their fourth consecutive conference tournament championship just last Sunday right here in Big Rapids.
Well, I tell you, so much familiarity between those two teams, and you know, the one thing about it is that each of those games, it just takes on a life of its own, and it's always a physical game, a relatively clean game, and with a lot of intensity and good players that make big plays at big times. And so I'm looking forward to that game, that nightcap. It's going to be number 4, and I guarantee you it's not going to be dull, even though it's going to be the 4th installment this season.
The Bellarmine Knights in the white uniforms here as the home team today. They'll be wearing the maroon numerals with the gray trim. Meanwhile, Findlay will be wearing the black road uniforms with the orange numerals and the white trim as the fans continue to come into Wink Arena. We expect a big crowd before it's all said and done with the Bulldogs playing the 7:30 game here tonight.
Well, I tell you one thing, they poured in here yesterday. Just before the Bulldogs played that 6 p.m. game on Saturday, had a tremendous crowd. And, you know, you look at tonight, Rob, and you got a lot of the students back on campus getting ready to resume classes for the spring semester tomorrow. And so hopefully we'll get even more students to show up here for this game and cheer on the Bulldogs. It would certainly be nice to have that student section back here and really raising the intensity level in this building.
Some keys here for both of these teams in this contest. One team hopes to move on here tonight.
Well, I think one of the things that when you look at Findlay, from their perspective, Martise Kimbrough is the guy that's going to really set the tone for them. He's the guy that really controls the ball, controls the tempo. And so him being able to really control the tempo, keep the turnovers down, and really get them in their sets is going to be important. And obviously Terrence Sullivan is a guy that can score from anywhere on the floor, and he's going to be a guy that is going to have a big game here tonight as senior leaders on that team. From the Bellarmine perspective, one of the things that Bellarmine really wants to do is they want to really work that basketball. They want to move it well. They want to screen well. If they can get open shots, they're going to shoot the basketball well. They've got, 4 guys really in their core group that are shooting better than 40% from outside the three-point line. So they want to work that ball inside, get it back outside, and be able to shoot that three. Bellarmine also a team that moves well without the basketball and passes it well. And so when they're moving and sharing the basketball well, they're a tough team to beat.
Midwest region traditionally known as one of the top regions in the country, and that's evidenced by the latest National Association of Basketball Coaches rankings coming into the national tournament. Ferris State, of course, at number 2, Bellarmine at number 4, and you've got Findlay at number 13, a team that's been in the top 10 as well here at various points this season.
Well, again, as you said, speaks to the toughness of this conference, or this region, I should say, and the GLIAC and the conferences that are in this region, that you have so many good teams that play at a high level in this tournament there. And, you look at the Bulldogs climbing the national rankings all season long, and Bellarmine has been right there kind of nipping at their heels in the national and regional rankings. And so 4 great teams here playing for the Midwest Regional Championship.
It'll be Alex White in the circle here for Findlay as both teams get ready to take the floor. It'll be Findlay from right to left, the Bellarmine Knights from left to right here in the opening half of action tonight as Adam Eberhard will step into the circle here for Bellarmine University. Some of the top players in the country competing here tonight, both in Terrence Sullivan, Martise Kimbrough here on the Findlay side. You've got Bach and Eberhard here on the Bellarmine side as we await the opening tip, and we are underway here at Jim Wink Arena. The Knights will take first possession.
Yeah, we can see how they start to attack here. Again, they're a team that likes to move well off the basketball and constant motion.
Block with it in the corner. Now they go down low to Cook on the baseline, who squares up on Sullivan. Nice matchup between those two inside. The left side of the floor, here comes Jared Coles. Back left wing to Eberhard. Eberhard down low on the block on the far side. Nice feedback near side to Cook, but rejected away by Alex White.
Yeah, great job there by Alex White coming over as they tried to really post that basketball up and couldn't do it. Alex White with a great help side block.
Kimbrough goes on the far wing to Gardner in the corner. Back to Sullivan, who thought about the shot. Drives on Cook. Dumps it off to White on the baseline, but he could not connect, and Bellarmine able to clean up the glass.
Yeah, great job there by Sullivan showing the basketball and then going right hard to the basket. White just couldn't get the shot to fall.
Coles in the lane, back near side to Eberhard out wide. Working against Alex White. Backdoor cut and a nice feed from Eberhard to Cook.
That's what they do. They move well off the basketball right there. A little backdoor cut. Nice bounce feed there for a layup.
And the Knights have the early 2-0 lead. Sullivan out wide on the far side, back to White. Near side wing to Gardner. Back down low on the block to Sullivan. Inside out, Kalig on the far side. Off the dribble from 15 feet and good.
Yeah, nice job there. And they chased him off of his spot, but good job there by Kalig going to that left hand and then pulling up inside the three-point arc.
Tied at 2, almost 90 seconds in. Now top with it is Wire. Wire over on the far side to Cook. Back near side to Jarrett Coles. Coles picked up by Kalig here in the man-to-man for Findlay. Down low inside is Wire, who is too deep and too big for Martise Kimbrough as he puts it up and in.
Yeah, you let him get that deep under the basket. His head was almost underneath the rim.
4-2 Knights as the Oilers set it up here on the near side out of the Great Midwest Athletic Conference this season. Sullivan topside near wing to Kalig. Down little White, who tries to back down Wire. White with the hook. Up and good as he answers for Findlay.
Yeah, he let him back down, get to his sweet spot there with that little jump hook, and that's a shot that he would love to get every single time down the court when he gets his opportunities.
Tied up at 4, near side wing out wide is Wire. Back on the left side to Coles. Jarrett Coles looking inside for Baca. The cut comes now to Eberhard. Eberhard into the lane against Kalig. In the corner on the far side, Bach his first field goal try, and up and good from downtown.
That's a good way to get your first field goal right there with a triple from the corner. 7-4, Bellarmine leads.
Sullivan left wing, top side to Kimbrough, over on the right side to Gardner, who pulls up and connects as Findlay able to knock down a couple 15-footers here in the early going.
A good hit by Gardner. Both teams in a solid rhythm here early in this game.
Top of the circle is Cook. Right wing now to Eberhard, who will hoist the three, and it's online and good.
And that good rhythm continues here as another hit there, 10-6. Bellarmine leads.
Bellarmine with a 4-point lead here as the Oilers will try to set up their offensive set. Gardner near side to Kimbrough, who will get the screen from Sullivan. Martise with it down the lane, stripped of the ball, and here comes Coles the opposite way against Kalig, and able to draw the contact, and a foul going to be called here on the floor against the University of Findlay.
Yeah, they're going to call the bump before he got into his shooting motion, apparently, so they'll inbound it there from underneath. It's the first team foul of the game.
Kalig called for the foul. It was going to be Bellarmine to inbound. Eberhard in the corner, skips it all the way across. Wire the deep three on the way. Off the mark here and rebounded by Gardner, who was able to run it down. Oilers up the floor to Kimbrough. Kimbrough steps back, 3-ball on the way, good.
Yeah, nice job there as he under control there. Looked at the initial shot, but Bellarmine did a good job in transition. Long lead pass down into the post.
Wire down low, feeds it back to Cook, who lays it up and in.
That's what happens when you got multiple guys running the floor. White was in a difficult position, had two guys underneath and unable to guard both.
Lead at 3 here for the Bellarmine Knights with 16:20 to go here in the first half. Near wing with it is Kimbrough as the crowd chanting defense here at Wink Arena. Kimbrough back near side. Sullivan from downtown trying to answer and does.
Nothing but net there from Terrence Sullivan. Coach Davenport not happy. He did not feel like Cook got a hand up in the face.
Oilers right now get a hand on the ball to knock it away in transition, and going to remain Bellarmine basketball here on the baseline inbound.
Coach Davenport over there telling his team, recognize those shooters and make sure you get a high hand up in their face. They don't need a lot of room, especially a guy like Terrence Sullivan.
Bach will inbound here, and foul going to be called on the inbounds play, so that'll be team foul number 2 here on the Oilers with 16:03 to go here in half number 1.
They got Kalig right there holding. Sometimes when a team moves as well as Bellarmine does and they screen as well, you sometimes can get caught holding, trying to prevent guys from cleanly coming off a screen.
That'll be number 2 on Kalig as he's still out there with those 2 personal fouls. Both fouls in the ballgame have been called on him. Near side out top is Coles, guarded by Kimbrough. Now Coles into the lane on the right side, dumps it down low to Wire. He's got Kalig on him again. Not able to finish this time, and White able to rip down the rebound.
Yeah, Kalig was very tentative there, not wanting to pick up that third. Here's Sullivan from about 3 steps behind the line.
He was not tentative as he buries his second 3 of the ball game, and it's a 15-12 Oiler lead here after the tremendous start from Bellarmine. Out wide with it is Coles, as the Oilers trying to get a stop here on the defensive end. Eberhard with it on the left wing, back to Coles near side, who drives into the corner, cut off by Kalig. Back to Eberhard just off the block. Skip pass out top to Bach, left open from 17, but off the front side of the rim, tipped down, and the Knights will get a fresh possession.
Yeah, great job on the back tap there, Rob, sorry.
Near steal by Sullivan, but Bach able to run it home. Coles out wide on the left side, high post Eberhard. on the baseline to Wire, back to Eberhard, the All-American on the wing on the left side. Here comes Coles on the attack, could not finish, and White knocked to the floor. Foul going to be called here on Bellarmine with a 15-minute mark to play here in the first half.
What a pace to this game right now. 15-12 here at the 15-minute mark exactly of the first half.
We'll take a quick timeout, back with more coverage from the NCAA Division II Midwest Regional after this break right here on Ferris Television and the Bulldog Sports Network. Welcome back, everyone, to live coverage of the NCAA Division II Midwest Regional here at Ferris State University's Jim Wink Arena. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you here in the opening half of play. 15 minutes to go in the first regional semifinal, and it's the third-seeded Findlay Oilers leading number 2-seeded Bellarmine 15-12.
Bellarmine had a nice handle on the game, and then they kind of forgot about the range that Terrence Sullivan has. Did not get a hand up on his face, and he pulled a couple of long-range bombs there to put the Oilers up top.
Tommy Schmack will come on here along with Trey Smith and Aaron Oberheiser here for the Findlay Oilers as the Oilers have possession. Sullivan on the far side, looking down low for Kimbrough on the baseline. He steps back. Bellarmine Knights wanted a double dribble, did not get it. Here's Trey Smith down the lane, could not finish, and Eberhard with the rebound.
Yeah, they thought that was going to be a double dribble, did not get it, and the official saying it hadn't gotten clean possession of the basketball.
Parker Chitty with it out top. Had a big day yesterday here for the Knights. On the left side, Bach, high post, Eberhard nice down low. Laying up and good off the bench for Daniel Renzer.
Yeah, great interior pass right there, and the layup underneath. And again, that's Bellarmine at its best, sharing the basketball.
Sullivan down the lane, lost the handle, but Schmack able to pick it up. Out to Kimbrough, deep three off the front side of the rim, and Bach with the rebound. As he will push it the opposite way here for the Knights. Trey Smith all over him here defensively as Coles will work it to the right side against Schmack. Steps back out top, Eberhard. The swing left side out to Brent Bach. Now with it is Ramser at the top of the circle. Right side to Chitty. Parker Chitty draws two defenders. Kimbrough able to pick him up. Baseline with the shot clock down to 7. Here's Chitty again on the attack, trying to bounce it down low, but Smith intercepts the pass here for the Oilers. Trey Smith ahead to Sullivan, who jams it home.
Nice job right there on the lob play, and Terrence Sullivan running the floor, the one-hand alley-oop throwdown.
Great crowd of Oiler fans over to our right behind us as they were up and on their feet on the big jam from the All-American Terrence Sullivan. Coles with it, left side in the corner. On the far edge, on the attack, here's Bellarmine. Chitty with it, and stoppage on that far side as I believe an offensive foul was called.
Yeah, I couldn't see there, kind of screened off, but appeared like maybe an illegal screen there that took place. But Findlay getting the basketball back and trying to see if they can get some sustained momentum here. A big alley-oop there by Terrence Sullivan. He's off to a big start in this game.
Huge pass from Trey Smith as we saw the replay, and tremendous look at the jam from Terrence Sullivan. Kimbrough with it here out top. Will dribble off the right side for the Oilers. Back near side. Here's Oberheiser. Lost the handle, but able to get it back to the point. Now Kimbrough swings right side. Schmack back to Kimbrough, who's been kind of quiet here in the early going. Now back to Kimbrough, who goes to Sullivan at mid-range. Picked up by Ramser. Top of the circle. Kimbrough on the attack from 15. Could not connect, and the Knights able to run down the rebound.
Yeah, they've done a pretty decent job on Kimbrough and trying to keep him contained. Sullivan certainly the big threat so far with 8 points already. And
12:30 to go here in the first half, and Cook called for the walk as possession will go back to the Oilers of Findlay.
Yeah, Cook trying to make that move there in the middle of the floor, and he's going to check out of the game for Wire. And more substitutions here coming for the Knights.
Coles will come back on quickly. Wire, a 6'7" sophomore at forward from Fort Thomas, Kentucky. And Eberhard will rejoin the front line as well at 6'8" out of Evansville. So some good size inside here for the Bellarmine Knights.
Yeah, not only good size, but also some versatility. A number of guys that can shoot that three-point shot and haven't quite gotten into that part of their game just yet, but still a lot of basketball left.
Matt Ashley on here for the Findlay Oilers. Overheiser has it. One dribble out to Trey Smith, driving baseline on the floater, could not finish. Smith trying to rip it out from behind, but out of bounds off of Findlay.
Yeah, he knew that shot was short and tried to run it down, and fortunately for him, he did not pick up a foul there trying to get the basketball back.
3-point lead here for the Oilers still at the 12-minute mark, and just over to play here in the first half of action. Running the offense is C.J. Fleming here for Bellarmine. Off to Coles. Coles spinning against Schmock. Down low on the cut. Nice cut here by Ramser, who lays it up and in.
Again, that's that constant motion there as Bellarmine always moving off the basketball, never really staying around, just watching people. Here's Smith.
Smith able to bury the three from the right side. Nice setup by Tommy Schmock. And the Oilers have stretched the lead to 4. Bach with it, down low, Wire, inside out to Eberhard, who throws it back inside and picked off by Findlay as the Oilers had a couple bodies there. Smith the other way, will hand off to Kimborough. Kimborough back to Smith, thought about the shot, now moves to the corner. Here's Ashley out front. Ashley swings left side. Kimborough trying to drive, but stepped out of play right in front of the Bellarmine bench.
Yeah, kicked that foot back there and stepped out on the sideline right in front of the Bellarmine bench.
4-point Findlay lead here at 11:24 to go in the first half as we've got our second media stoppage of this opening half. Good crowd on hand here and expecting this crowd to grow tonight with the second regional semifinal between the top-seeded and number 2 ranked Ferris State Bulldogs against Lake Superior State, and what should be another epic meeting between those two GLIAC rivals.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and even though, as we mentioned, it's the 4th installment of this year's version of the rivalry, it's still none of the games have been dull. They've all been good, hard-fought basketball games that you would expect from two longtime GLIAC North rivals, and so I expect nothing to be different here in that game here on the nightcap here. But you look at this game so far, Rob, 20-16, Findlay up in this game, and both teams really shooting the basketball well. You got Findlay 4 of 5 from outside the three-point line, 2 of 3 outside the three-point arc by Bellarmine. The Oilers overall shooting about 61.5% from the floor and 58.3% for Bellarmine. So if you are a fan and you like offense, you're really happy right now. But if you're a coach that likes defense and these two coaches really like defense, you're probably not quite as happy right now.
As expected for Findlay, leading the way is Terrence Sullivan with 8 points. He's perfect from the floor, 3 of 3, 2 of 2 from downtown beyond the three-point stripe. Over on the Bellarmine side, both Cook and Ramser with 4 points apiece as they look to get someone untracked and really take charge at the offensive end. That'll be Bellarmine basketball. Coles will handle here in the front court set here for the Bellarmine Knights on the push up the floor. Over on the right side with it now. Out wide is Cook. Cook with it to Wire out front. Wire looking for Eberhard on the handoff here on the near side. He swings it left side over to Brent Bach. Bach had 26 yesterday. Down low is Wire. Wire spinning on the block. Not able to get the shot away with Overheiser behind him. Shot clock down to 5. Coles in the lane. Found an opening and Cook jams it home.
Yeah, great job there. The shot clock running down. Nice dish there, and Cook with a two-hand finish.
They forced Kimborough to make a decision, and he made one, and unfortunately left Cook open on the baseline for the jam. 20-18 is Bellarmine's back within 2. Kimborough swings it right side out wide to Trey Smith. Smith comes to Schmock, left wing with it back to Kimborough. As he works against Eberhard, going to be called for the walk.
Yeah, he tried to go right and then come back left and ended up picking up his pivot foot to get called for the travel.
Oilers going back to the bench as Sullivan will return along with White, Kalig, and Gardner as they will step back on the floor along with Trey Smith. So 4 starters back on here for the University of Findlay as Kimborough will get his first rest of the ball game. 10:30 to play here in the first half. Eberhard at the high post left side. Back to Bach, near side, working right at Trey Smith and kind of leaned into him and an offensive foul was called.
I'll tell you what, anytime there's a block chart situation, one side's going to be happy and another side is not going to be so happy. And that time, bang, bang call goes against the Bellarmine Knights.
Tyler Kump, Bart Lennox, and Michael Griffith, the three officials working this game today here in the NCAA tournament. Kalig with it near side. Sullivan out wide to White at the top of the circle. Over to Gardner on the far side. Now it's Kalig who is still looking for his first field goal try from the outside. Sullivan on the right wing here for Findlay. Back near side corner. Gardner open from downtown. Could not get it to fall. And Eberhard with the rebound.
Oh, almost a travel there, but got away with it.
Coles got Gardner off balance. Feeds it off the wire. Back to Cook, who jams it home.
Great job there. Findlay trying to draw a charge. Did not get it near midcourt and ended up giving up another dunk.
We're tied at 20 here with 9:40 to play in the first half. Gardner to Kalig here on the left wing for the Oilers. We'll get the big screen from Sullivan. Kalig back to Sullivan. Taryn drives near side, stops from 15 and connects.
Yeah, I tell you what, Sullivan is so talented there. He showed that ball just a little bit, and he hit those threes early in the game, and all of a sudden the guy comes out at you, and you put the ball on the floor and go by him.
Bach left side here for the Bellarmine Knights to Coles. Around the horn on the right side, here's Eberhard as the Oilers have went to the 2-3 zone here on the defensive end. Top side with it is Bach. 12 on the shot clock here for Bellarmine. Back to Coles, left side to Eberhard. Baseline with it is Cook. Back to Eberhard. Shot clock down to 5 now as he moves it right side in the corner. 3 ball on the way. Up and in for Brent Bach.
Yeah, a lot of patience there against the zone, and didn't necessarily move a lot of guys in and out of the zone, but they were able to swing it around to the corner and get that 3 to fall right in front of the Findlay bench.
Bellarmine has moved in front by 1 at 23-22. Sullivan off the post at mid-range here for Findlay. Trying to back his way down. Skips it over to the far side, back to Sullivan on the right wing, and he's going to be called for the travel.
Yeah, that's the same one that Kimbrough just got a few minutes ago, is double shuffling the feet there, trying to make a move to the basket.
Smith will check out as Kimbrough will return here for the University of Findlay. Kimbrough with 3 points here in the ball game. Sullivan leading the Oilers now with 10, but called for the travel right there on that possession. Out wide, here's Coles, now right side to Cook. Oilers trying to scramble here in this 2-3. They lob it up for Cook on the baseline, but he could not catch the basketball. Kind of sailed through his hands on the high pass.
Yeah, been trying to work him along the baseline there, trying to see if they can catch that defense moving up a little high and slip him backdoor for the alley-oop.
Kind of like trying to find a tight end right there in the back of the end zone. Ball on the baseline. Sullivan able to save it. Back to Kalig, and the Oilers can move it to the right side. Here's Gardner on the attack. Down low. Ball kicked away. Gardner trying to get back on top of it, but Coles picks it up here for Bellarmine. Up the floor, Coles pressing hard here for the Knights, but a walk going to be called here against Brent Bach.
Another shuffle of the feet there coming into the timeout. We got a good one here. 23-22, the Knights lead.
7:57 to go here in the first half. We'll be back after this break. This is NCAA Division II Midwest Regional Tournament coverage from Jimwick Arena. Back after this. Back inside Jimwick Arena, Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you here on Ferris Television and the Bulldogs Sports Network. The NCAA Division II Midwest Regional Tournament being contested here at Jimwick Arena for the first time in Ferris State history. The Bulldogs playing host to this regional tournament, and two of the top 3 teams here in the region all season long colliding here in the regional semifinal.
Yeah, you know, so far the Seeds are holding form here, and this game right here holding form. We thought this was going to be a good one, and so far it's been that.
23-22, Bellarmine with a 1-point lead here on the Findlay Oilers. 7:50 to play now here in the first half. Kalig with it on the right side, back to White. Gardner looking for Kimbrough here on the left wing. Martise here, a couple dribbles. Back to Sullivan, 3 ball on the way from Sullivan, bingo!
I tell you, that's another big shot there from deep there, and one of the first times he's hit the rim so far.
He now has 13 to lead all scorers here in the ball game, and the Oilers back in front by 2. Eberhard on the left side, out wide. Back to Coles here at the point. Oilers still in that zone as they move around here defensively. Coles at the high post to Eberhard. He's swarmed by the Oilers. Baseline to Cook. Back to Eberhard out top at the point. Bach on the left wing, working against Kimbrough, but nowhere to go on the dribble. Back out wide. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. He puts up the 3 and connects.
Yeah, not much you can do right there if you're Kimbrough. You got him under duress there, had a high hand up in his face, and burying that long shot.
26-25 as Gardner will handle here in the 1-4 set out top. On the left side of the floor with it is Kimbrough. Kimbrough gonna hold on to it here on the near side. Working between a couple defenders out to Kalig. 3-ball from Kalig is off the mark and rebounded inside by White, who was fouled here by Bellarmine.
Yeah, White's a big body there, carved open a piece of space there and was able to get his hand on the basketball and get it up on the rim while he's being hacked across the arm.
Going to be called against Eberhard, who will pick up his first foul, 14th foul here on the Knights. And Alex White will be at the line here for the University of Findlay, a 6'7" junior out of Westchester, Ohio. And he was able to knock down the first to tie it up at 26.
He's got a nice soft touch there as Kalig going to check out Trey Smith back in.
Smith will return here, and Bellarmine making a couple substitutions as well as Parker Chitty will come back on here for the Bellarmine Knights. At the stripe will be White for a second opportunity here. 6:44 to go here in the first half. Second try is up from White and good, and Findlay back in front by 1.
See what the Bellarmine Knights can cook up. Again, they've had some good motion here, but looks like they have switched back to man.
Both teams allowing less than 70 points per game on the year. Bellarmine giving up just 62 points per contest. The Oilers at 68.5 points. Here's Eberhard on the attack and took a shot from White and a foul called here on Findlay.
He might have taken a little bit of a elbow there to the face there. Looks like he was able to shake it off there. Going to get himself back to the free throw line is Eberhard.
So he'll get a pair of free throws here down at the other end as the foul was called on White, his first, and Eberhard able to knock home the first free throw. Schmock and Overheiser will come back on here for the University of Findlay. So we're tied at 27 here in what's been a back and forth game here in this opening half.
It has been what we expected here and then some here. Both teams playing very solidly here early as that shot missed, but all black jerseys underneath for the rebound.
Overheiser with the board underneath, and here comes Findlay into the front court set. Smith with it on the far side, back to Sullivan. Sullivan over to Overheiser here on the right point. Back to Kimbrough on the handoff. He looks inside, now to Smith on the wing. They move it back to Sullivan, being defended by Eberhard. May not find a better matchup right here. In the corner on the far side, Overheiser back out to Kimbrough, picked up by Chitty. Tough-nosed defensive player here for Bellarmine. Kimbrough trying to get the shot up at the buzzer and does, but well off the mark, and it's going to be a shot clock violation.
You called it right there as a good matchup there, and Kimbrough trying to get that shot off and not able to get any rim, and it ends up being a shot clock violation.
Coles and Wire will come back on here for Bellarmine as the Knights will have possession. They've got Ramser, Cook, and Bach also at the other end of the floor here offensively. Being pressured here is Coles. Able to handle it into the half-court set as he'll hand off to Bach. Out top with it is Wire. Now on the right side to Cook. Looking for the backdoor cut here as they run the motion offense. Top side with it is Coles. Back right side to Ramser. Down to 12 on the shot clock here for Bellarmine. Tied at 27. Out wide. Bach up the dribble against Kimbrough. Swings it back to the left side. Here's Cook on the attack and got to the hole and was able to finish.
Pretty move there by Cook. Had a big step in the lane there. Able to kind of cuff that basketball and then lay it in on the opposite side.
Schmock back near side. Trey Smith in the paint. Off to Overheiser and an offensive foul. Going to be called here against Trey Smith, who is upset with the call.
He's protesting that, but I think at least two different officials had that call as a charge. And so one that the Oilers are going to have to chalk up to the experience there as Bellarmine now up by 2, 29-27. Chance to maybe extend.
Jarrett Coles will hand off to Bach on that far sideline. Now with it is Cook out wide.
Nice.
Backdoor cut by Ramser. Could not finish. Has done a nice job of cutting to the hole, but not able to get that one to drop through.
Beautiful pass by Cook, though. Unfortunate they weren't able to finish.
Sullivan squares up. Fadeaway jumper is off the back iron and pulled down by Ramser. And here comes Bellarmine on the run. 2-point Knights lead. They set it up Left side out wide to Wire. Baseline to Cook, who squares up on Sullivan.
Look at it again.
Nice cut by Bach, and he's fouled. Just missed the lay-in try. Almost had a chance at a three-point play.
You cannot fall asleep off the basketball. Just because you're on the weak side, you cannot fall asleep. They are constantly running guys through the lane, cutting, back cutting, and if you fall asleep, you're going to end up just like that, watching the guy in front of you going in for a layup.
Brent Bach at the stripe, leading scorer here for the Knights on the year at 16.7 points per game. First free throw on the way is off the right side. Does not miss often. 78% free throw shooter, but not able to connect on that first try.
That's a very good percentage these days, as you don't expect.
C.J. Fleming going to come on here for Bellarmine as Sullivan trying to save the rebound and just does, as it almost gave the Knights another possession on the missed free throw.
Great extra effort there by Sullivan. You mentioned that would have not been a good thing for Findlay.
Schmock baseline to Sullivan, back near side to Schmock out wide here on the left side. They move it around the horn to Kimbrough on the far side. Kimbrough off the screen, out top at the point. Looking to the right side, he's got Kalig out wide. May have walked, drives to the hole, and draws the foul.
Yeah, it was that same shuffle of the feet that they didn't call that time, but they get away with it. You can see, Rob, they are trying to get Kimbrough loose and just having a hard time. They are on Kimbrough like a blanket right now and trying not to let him get too much room.
Rams are going to be called for the foul. Fifth foul here on the Knights as Kalig's first free throw is no good.
On the front of the rim a little bit before it bounced off. As, again, you see Bellarmine just liberally substituting there, trying to keep fresh bodies in there.
Bellarmine going back to the bench, a guy we did not see yesterday, Chavarsky Corbett, 6'7" junior from Tampa, Florida, will come on here for the Bellarmine Knights as Gardner will return for Findlay, with the difference being 1 point after 1 and 2 free throws were made.
Kalig going to take a step out of the game here. 29-28 as the Oilers have been able to hang tough without getting much contribution from Martese Kimbrough to this point.
Fleming on the far side to Bach, back near side out top to Wire. Hand off to Corbett, over out wide here against Sullivan. Now it's Fleming, left side. Ramser left open, puts it on the deck, drives inside, kicks it back to Wire. Three ball off the front side of the rim, and Schmock able to run down the rebound here for the Oilers.
Yeah, great job running down the long rebound. Long shots lead to long rebounds as Kimbrough trying to get on track.
At the near side, comes to Overheiser out wide, skip pass across to Gardner. Gardner spins and dumps it inside, down low to Sullivan. Back to Kimbrough, three ball on the way and up and goes.
That's the man right there, as they really needed that shot from Martese Kimbrough.
Oilers back in front, 31-29 here with 3.5 to go in this first period. Top side with it is Wire, looking for the backdoor cut. Now left side over to Bach. On the far edge out wide against Gardner. Near side, they move it on the wing to Fleming. Now it's back to Wire here on the right side against Overheiser. Looking down low for Corbett. Now back to Bach, down to 7 on the shot clock. Bach working off the dribble against Gardner. Pulls up and could not connect. Rebounded by Kimbrough.
Great stand there by the Oilers, and Findlay now up 2, trying to extend that lead.
Sullivan will dribble to the point. Now back on the left side. As Overheiser tries to post up down low. Kimbrough, as we are screened off here. Now back to Schmock out top. As he'll set it up off the screen from Overheiser. Schmock into the lane. Back out top to Gardner with 9 on the shot clock. 2:40 left here in the half. Kimbrough near side from downtown. This one offline and rebounded by Bach.
Yeah, that time, see Bellarmine had a hand up in his face. Great lead pass.
Fleming able to streak down the floor for the lay-in here for the Bellarmine Knights as he adds some points off the bench.
They make you pay there if you don't get back in transition. Long shot, long rebound, and a layup there for Bellarmine at the other end, tying the game at 31.
2:15 left here in the first half, and what's been a dandy so far in the regional semifinals. Kimbrough at the top of the circle off the right side. Back to Overheiser. Thought about the shot, drives instead. Dumps it down low to Sullivan, but an offensive foul going to be called here on Overheiser, the big wide body that ran over the defender.
Yeah, the big man was trying to drive the lane and make a play off the dribble, and tough position to be in as he picks up the charge.
2:04 to go here in the opening half. We're tied at 31 right here at Jim Wick Arena in Big Rapids. Regional semifinal round action tonight in the NCAA tournament. Of course, tournament action going on across the country. The 8 regional winners from Tuesday night will advance to the NCAA Division II Elite 8 starting on March 20th out in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And already a couple upsets yesterday in the national tournament. A couple number 1 seeds taking a fall. Morehouse, number 1 seed, lost in overtime. And Northwest Missouri State, the defending national champion and a number 1 seed, fell on their home floor. So a couple 1 seeds losing to number 8 seeds. We saw a number 8 seeded Ohio Dominican team give the top seeded Ferris State Bulldogs a battle here last night.
You're absolutely right. It was a scary game there for a while there, as we knew what Ohio Dominican had to offer, and we knew that it was going to be a challenge for the Bulldogs. And you look at 2 number 1s going down to number 8s, and that shows you how tough it is to really do what some of the teams that have made it this far have done. And you look at the team next to us at 29-2, and you look at what the Bulldogs have done all year, and it's hard to do. And then you get into the postseason NCAA tournament, and it's one and done. You lose and it's over, and that's shows you what the Bulldogs are up against, and that's why you cannot take anything for granted here at this stage of the season.
Tied at 31 here with 2:04 left in this opening half. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you live from inside Jim Wink Arena here tonight. Game 1 of our doubleheader with the top-seeded Ferris State Bulldogs taking on 4th-seeded Lake Superior State in the nightcap right around 7:30 p.m. tonight. We'll start pregame coverage right around 7 o'clock, both on the Bulldog Sports Network and Sunny 97.3 FM, pending the outcome of this first semifinal game here tonight in Big Rapids. Left side of the floor with it is Cook, as the shot clock already down to 18 seconds here for Bellarmine. Eberhard out wide, takes a couple dribbles inside, spins on Alex White, could not finish, tried to tip it up and in, but finally ran down by Tommy Schmock. Schmock ahead to Sullivan, back to Schmock, looking across the floor to Gardner at the point, right side to Kimbrough, who lost his footing, but able to dump it away back to Schmock, and now they can reset. 91 seconds left. Sullivan down low on the lob on the baseline, draws 2 defenders. Back to Kimbrough, left open. He'll put up the 3 and up and good.
Yeah, they brought the double team to get the ball out of the hands of Sullivan, but the ball ended up in the hands of Kimbrough, and he buried the 3. Nothing but net, top of the key.
Findlay back in front by 3 here as they will settle back defensively in the man-to-man. With it is Bach with the right side of the floor. Eberhard down low against Alex White, trying to back his way down. Leans in the paint, now steps back on the jumper, but not able to get the shot to drop, and the Oilers with the board.
That was a tough shot, under 1 minute to go here, and Oilers going to see if they can build on what they've already gotten here so far, getting Kimbrough on board.
He puts up another 3, and a deep 3 up and good from the K on Wink Arena.
I tell you what, they are pulling some long triples here in this game, up by 6 here, 40 seconds to go in the half.
Near side out wide with it is Fleming, top side to Bach. About a 15-second differential here between the shot clock and the game clock. Over on the left side is Coles into the lane. Steps in from the free throw stripe and up and good.
Nice soft touch there, going to his right hand into the lane as the Oilers checking with Coach Ernst on the bench to see what they want to do.
20 seconds left. They can play for the final shot here in this first half. Trying to build on a 4-point lead just before halftime. Down to 12 seconds left. Schmock handling here at the point. Looking back door for Kimbrough, drives baseline instead, got to the hole but could not finish. White with the rebound, gives it off to Schmock, who puts it up. He could not finish. I think he had some more time than maybe he thought. And that will do it for the first half.
Yeah, he had a couple of great looks at it and couldn't get it to go, as Davenport really upset with the officials leaving the floor, as the Oilers up by 4 at halftime.
37-33 our score as the 3rd-seeded Findlay Oilers lead the 2nd-seeded Bellarmine Knights here in regional semifinal number 1.
It really says a lot about this game in particular and this region overall.
The Ferris State Bulldogs meeting a Lake Superior State team that just a few years back avenged a loss to the Bulldogs in the GLIAC Tournament Championship game by beating Ferris State in the first round of the NCAA Tournament down in Louisville, Kentucky. Both teams got wins last night right here inside Wink Arena. Ferris State pulling away in the second half for a big win over Ohio Dominican. Meanwhile, it was Lake Superior State that took control against Hillsdale late in that first half and went on to a nice win over the Chargers.
Yeah, they did. They really stepped it up in the second half of that game and started to take control, getting some of their perimeter players really getting going, and they were able to carry them down the stretch to a good victory there, as we saw, Marquardt really stepped up, had some big game shooting the basketball, and of course, Kim J. Williams is just a outstanding player and really did a good job of, as usual, putting the team on his back and giving them every opportunity to win a game.
Ferris State Bulldogs, of course, will have to contend with a Kim J. Williams here tonight, along with some other talented players on that Laker team. Michael Nicholson, a big man inside, who in the first 2 matchups here in Big Rapids against the Bulldogs hasn't seen a whole lot of playing time, was injured in that first meeting, and then in the second game got into foul trouble, so we'll see if that proves to be a difference here tonight.
Well, the thing is, too, they have other weapons, too, that can really step up. We saw Adams step up for them yesterday in a game against us in the GLIAC tournament. We saw Collins step up and have a big game, and so they've got a number of guys that are really capable. Goldschmidt and of course Timmy Kierendup, the local product, is had some games against us in the past where he's been able to bury some shots, and so it's a good team, Lake Superior, and when you have a team that you play that many times in a season, that usually means that you have two good basketball teams, and they're playing with a lot on the line, either in the conference tournament or in the NCAA regional tournament.
Certainly when you get to this stage of the season, all teams that you're going to see are good teams, and we've seen that here in this Midwest Regional Tournament. Two outstanding teams going at it right here in this first semifinal game.
Well, I think all 8 teams that we started with, when you look at those 4 quarterfinals that we had yesterday, you had 8 really good basketball teams here playing in this regional tournament, and here we are right now cutting the field in half to 4, and you're seeing really the best of the best here, even not just in this region, but really maybe around the nation in terms of the quality of this region. And so teams have shuffled around between different conferences there over the last few years, but again, you still see the quality, even though we don't get to see some of these teams like Ohio Dominican and Hillsdale as much anymore, but they're still very good basketball teams, very good basketball programs. And so really looking forward to what should be a great second half as the Oilers following the Bellarmine Knights back out onto the floor.
You mentioned the different conference alignments. Bellarmine University winning the Great Lakes Valley Conference Tournament Championship last weekend, beating Truman State in the finals. Findlay, meanwhile, upset in its first ever Great Midwest Athletic Conference Tournament on its home floor at Croy Gymnasium. Ohio Dominican pulling off the upset, went on to beat Hillsdale in the championship game of that tournament, and certainly proved last night against Ferris State they were a worthy team here for this big dance.
Oh, they were. You can look at it and say, they won the conference tournament to get in, but hey, that's fine. I mean, you do whatever it takes to get into the regional tournament. And as you mentioned, once they got here, they proved that they were worthy of that position. Gave the Bulldogs a pretty good battle there for most of that game. And I think to the Bulldogs' credit, they were able to find ways to get it done in the end. Had some guys that really stepped up in the second half and helped them to find a way to win that game. And so that again brings us here to today with 2 outstanding matchups here, and 1/4 of the way through what we're going to see here today, at least so far. It's been a great semifinal night, and still a lot of basketball left to be played.
The winner of this game here gets a couple extra days of vacation here in the beautiful city of Big Rapids. A couple extra days to kind of lay around and get ready for that championship game on Tuesday night, and certainly a lot of preparation that will take place between now and Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's going to be a lot of practice time, and of course these teams really want to use this time where they're together, and you and I have been on road trips with teams, and when you get away from home a little bit, sometimes it's a good time to be able to bond a little bit, to be able to focus in on what the task is at hand. And for these teams that are left, there are teams that hope to be playing on Tuesday. It's going to be an opportunity really to continue to bond as a team and to be ready to hopefully play for a championship, successfully play for a championship on Tuesday.
A little different scenario here for Bellarmine as it is for the Ferris State Bulldogs. Coach Bronkema for Ferris State noted that the other day. The Bulldogs have been on the road in the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. A little different and a little different way to tackle it with when you're at home playing the tournament at home. On the Bellarmine side, they've played so many home tournaments here in the NCAAs that going on the road, a little bit of a different change for them.
It is a little bit of a different change, but good teams, they find a way, and that's what Bellarmine has been able to do. They've been able to find a way, even as you mentioned, a rare time for them to be on the road, and have a little bit of a change of pace for the Bulldogs to be at home this time of the year. And again, part of it, the Bulldogs are on spring break. Ferris is on spring break this week, and so I think it's been an opportunity, even though you don't necessarily have your fans, it's also been an opportunity for the team to really focus in on playing basketball and trying to advance here in this regional tournament.
Both teams with plenty to play for here in the final 20 minutes as Bellarmine will take the floor. The Knights here in the second half will move from right to left. It'll be Findlay from left to right, and it looks like the Oilers with a 4-point lead will have possession of the basketball here to start the second half.
It looks like they're going to come right out here and get focused there. We Terrence Sullivan run to the training table, but then he sprinted back to the locker room looking like an Olympic sprinter. So looks like he's going to be okay, and obviously a great player, one of the best players in the nation.
They have just been getting retaped here at halftime, as it looks like he's just fine, and they're going to need him to have a big second half along with Kimbrough here on the Findlay side. Gardner with it here as we are underway in the second half. Working off the left side, back near side to Sullivan. Sullivan working against Cook, trying to spin on the baseline. Jumper from the baseline up and good, and he looks just fine.
He looked fine right there with a big-time move there by Sullivan. And, he is a tough player there. Quick, strong, athletic, smart, all the skills you need.
6-point Oiler lead here after that bucket from Sullivan. Near side with it is Eberhard. Out wide against Alex White at the high post now. Backdoor cut by Coles into the lane. Tried to swing it to the near side, and Gardner intercepts the pass. Austin Gardner with it up the floor here for Findlay. Looking back near side to Sullivan. Deep three on the way. This one rattles away, and Eberhard with the board.
Yeah, you're almost shocked when he misses one there, as that one just a little bit wide left.
Wire with it back near side to Coles. Coles trying to attack against Kimbrough. Swings it near side to Wire. Baseline with it is Bach. Bach trying to back down Gardner. Inside underneath. Got to the hole and was able to finish.
Yeah, good job. Great patient job there by Brent Bach there, working his way inside. Knew he had a height advantage there and worked his way into a comfortable position to get that shot off.
39-35, still a 4-point difference here with 18:45 to play. Gardner on the right wing. Top side to Kalig. Kalig will put up the three. This one on the way. Just missed as we saw him come alive late yesterday. We'll see if he can get it going here in this contest tonight.
Yeah, that shot just an eyelash short of being in there.
Out top with it is Eberhard. Back near side to Cook. Over on the right side to Wire. They move it to Bach on the far side wing, and Gardner up pressuring him, trying to make him handle the basketball. He hesitates, drives near side, got to the hole, and was able to finish.
I tell you what, he is a guy that's not going to get rattled there by the pressure defense. Did a great job of attacking the pressure, getting to the basket, and finishing. 4
straight here for the Knights as they're back within 2 here. Less than 2 minutes into the second half as the Knight fans behind us trying to get the chant defense going. Sullivan on the near side. Puts it on the floor. Kicks it off to Gardner on the far side. Gardner into the lane. The one-hander up and good.
Yeah. The smallest guys on the floor able to drive right into the middle of the lane and get a nice little layup there to boost that lead back to 4.
Here at the University of Findlay, you'll take those points from Gardner, guy that traditionally not a scorer as compared to Sullivan and Kimbrough, but adds 2 points here to help the Oiler Cons.
Yeah, he had 2 guys, almost a miscommunication there as like Gardner trying to get a sub in there, needing a little bit of a breather.
So Tommy Schmack will come on as he checks on here for Findlay. Had a nice game yesterday and really provides a lot of energy off the bench here for this Oiler team.
Yeah, he does, and that's what they're looking for there, to bring some intensity as he was, as you mentioned, getting his hands on a lot of basketballs and really kind of creating some opportunities.
Bach with it at the point, working off the right side, down to 7 on the shot clock. Kimbrough will pick him up now. Bach into the baseline corner, back to Wire, 3 on the way. Rattles off the mark, and Schmack with the rebound, and here comes Findlay. Up the floor with a 41-37 lead here in the regional semifinals. Sullivan just off the block here against Cook. Doubled and tried to kick it over the top, and they're going to say it was last touch by Bellarmine.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was going to come. They were going to start to double and try to get that ball out of Sullivan's hands a little bit more, and they came with a big double to try to get him to, again, pass that ball on that cross-court pass.
Kalig will set it up here for Findlay on the right side to Schmack. Schmack with it back. Sullivan from downtown for 3 and good.
And another long triple there as Sullivan, again, can hurt you from anywhere on the court. You got to challenge yourself to get right up on him and pick your poison there to some extent.
Largest lead here for Findlay at 44-37. Down low with it is Wire against Kalig, trying to back him down, has a size advantage. Then tried to hit Cook on the cut, and that pass was errant and out of play.
Yeah, there was really nobody there. He's trying to hit the cutter. The cutter was already through.
Head coach Scott Davenport upset with Cook as he was the one that cut to the hole, and having a few words with him as both teams come off the floor here with 16:44 to go in the ball game, and a 44-37 score. As we saw him cut to the hole with the pass from Wire, sells well out of bounds, and unfortunately for Bellarmine, they give it right back to the Oilers.
Yeah, I tell you, and that's the thing about the Oilers is they're a team that if they get up on you down the stretch, and you got Terrence Sullivan and Martise Kimbrough, guys that you can keep going to get buckets, especially Terrence Sullivan, they make it awfully tough for you to climb back into a game because you always got that money guy that you can keep going to get your buckets.
Both teams with cheerleaders on hand here tonight at Jim Wink Arena. The Bellarmine dance team, along with the Findlay cheerleaders on hand here for this Midwest Regional Tournament. We'll have the Ferris State Pep Band at the very least on hand here for our second game tonight at the other end of the floor.
Yeah, and it's going to help add to a little bit more to the atmosphere here inside of this building, and so really looking forward to that element being added to the situation here as we get ready for that much anticipated second game, although this is a much anticipated game as well, especially when you look at a guy like Terrence Sullivan leading all scorers in the game, 18 points, 7 of 9 shooting from the floor, 4 of 5 from outside the three-point line, and the one that he missed didn't miss by much.
This one far from over between these two teams, two longtime powers here in the Midwest region, meeting here with a berth in the regional title game on the line Tuesday night. Here comes Tommy Schmock. A handoff to Kalig, over to Sullivan on the far side. Taryn at the point here, left side wing to Kimbrough. Picked up by Parker Chitty, down low to Alex White. 2 more here for White, and again, some points that the Oilers will take.
Those are bonus points right there. Icing on the cake is a great job sealing in the post by White and a beautiful delivery on the pass.
Ramser with it, down low to Eberhard on the baseline against Sullivan. And a hand check going to be called here against Terrence Sullivan. Kind of had that arm bar on him and going to be whistled for the foul. That's just the first foul of this second half on either team.
Yeah, that's a good decision there. I like that they decided to go at him just a little bit to try to make him work at both ends. And Eberhard certainly quality player to be able to do that and attack and try to make him work at both ends.
Bach with it out front against Kimbrough off the screen. And we'll kick it on the wing to Coles. Coles driving baseline against Kalig inside, leans in and scores and draws the foul.
I'll tell you what, he is so good off the dribble and kind of reminds me of Drew Lehman a little bit in the way that he scores and attacks the basket and is so crafty with spin moves and actually posting up even though not the biggest guy on the floor.
He'll be at the stripe trying to complete this three-point play. 16:03 to go here in the ball game, 46-39, and a chance to chip this lead down to 6 here. 4 minutes into the second half as the free throw is on the way, and it's up and good. On for Findlay, Trey Smith will return, going to replace Kalig on the floor, so the Oilers going to go with a different look here with Schmock, Kimbrough, and Smith all on the floor here at the same time.
That was a big basket there by Bellarmine. They could not afford to fall too far behind in this game.
Kimbrough with it on the far side, out to Sullivan. Sullivan top side to White, now near side to Schmock. Schmock with it back to Kimbrough, who squares up on Bach. Kimbrough into the lane, inside out to Schmock. Schmock puts it on the floor, opposite side. Trey Smith from downtown, not able to connect, but Sullivan with the rebound. Kimbrough a deep three, well short. Trey Smith trying to run it down, out of play. It's going to remain Findlay basketball.
Yeah, they're going to call it. It was 2 guys competing for the basketball and ends up going out of bounds. The Oilers will maintain.
We've reached a media timeout, 15:34 to go. It's Findlay 46, Bellarmine 40. We'll be back after this quick break on the Bulldog Sports Network and Ferris Television. Welcome back, everyone, to live coverage of the NCAA Division II Midwest Regional. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you from inside Jim Wick Arena as the crowd continues to grow here tonight. First regional semifinal, and a good one going on right here in Big Rapids. 46-40 our score. The third-seeded Oilers of Findlay leading the number 2 seed Bellarmine University here with 15:30 to play in the ball game. White with it over to Schmock on the far side. Down low is Sullivan, who's got Parker Chitty on him. Sullivan, the turnaround hook, up and good.
Yeah, I think he was waiting to see if there was going to be a double team come. The double team did not come, and he just elevated over the top of the smaller player and got the little jump hook.
He had 18 prior to that basket, make it 20 here for Terrence Sullivan, the standout here for Findlay. Eberhardt dumps it inside to Ramser, who answers here for Bellarmine.
Strong finish there inside as Bellarmine trying to get back to that offense with a lot of movement, cutting, screening, and good passing.
Schmock over on the far side. Chitty comes up with the steal, and here comes Parker Chitty driving hard to the hole, lays it up and in. And the Knights have been able to cut this margin back down to 4.
Yeah, another giveaway there by the Oilers. A little bit reckless with the basketball, and as you mentioned, back within 4, 48-44.
Kimbrough with it, top side to White on the right wing here for Findlay. As they go back to Kimbrough out top, picked up by Eberhardt. Kimbrough swings it left side to Trey Smith. Here comes Sullivan on the near side. Back to Kimbrough with the long defender on him. Now Kimbrough down low to Sullivan, who tries to back away. Fadeaway jumper on the baseline, well short. And tie-up perhaps is called. It'll be Bellarmine basketball.
That's a good call. He got in there and tied him up there. No fans don't like it, but that was a solid call, it looked like.
Tommy Schmock, the man that tied him up, his possession will go back to the Knights here with 14-18 to play, and a chance here with a bucket to make this a 1 or 2 point ball game.
You mentioned it right there, as Bellarmine now putting together a nice little run here as they've been able to take advantage of bad shot opportunities as well as turnovers here by the Oilers.
Oilers trying to pick up here in the man-to-man with it. Out wide is Cook, down to Eberhard. Eberhard off the screen, will hand off to Bach. Bach into the lane, leaning in, blocked away by Trey Smith, and Kimbrough with the rebound.
Great job there by Smith getting on top of the basketball, and tough pass right there as I think Sullivan was expecting Eberhard to get a piece of that and didn't, and ball ended up going out of bounds, and we're going to see something rare right here as Sullivan going to come out of the game.
So Matt Ashley will come on here, maybe a chance to rest him ever briefly as Overheiser is on as well here for the University of Findlay. Smith going to pressure Bach up the floor. Bach trying to get him off, and Smith was riding him up the floor. No foul called. Here comes Cook. Top side to Chitty, back near side to Bach. Bach off the screen from Eberhard, into the paint, spins back to the hole. Overheiser comes on the help. And a foul called here on the Oilers, who are not totally in agreement with the call.
We'll see who's going to get that one, and looks like they're going to get the big man, Overheiser.
So Overheiser called for the foul as Charlie Ernst waiting for the explanation down alongside the Findlay sideline with 13:40 to go. And this will send Brent Bach, the leading scorer here for Bellarmine, to the line. And a chance to maybe chip this down to 2. First free throw on the way, up and good for Brent Bach.
Brent Bach is a solid basketball player, is able to work his way with that dribble, such a good handle to get inside and create those scoring and foul opportunities, and then he gets to the free throw line, nothing but net there twice.
Able to knock home 2, and it's 48-46 here as the Oilers trying to stop the momentum that Bellarmine has picked up. Here comes Gardner into the front court set to Smith, over to Kimbrough on the far side. Crowd coming alive here at Wink Arena. And the Oilers trying to save it, and Ashley just does near midcourt. Gardner with it on the left side. Working off the dribble with 10 on the shot clock, trying to feed it inside, and a tough angle on that pass and out of play.
You can see the difference not having Sullivan in there. You're going to need Kimbrough. Looks like they're going to take a timeout. Going to have Kimbrough really take control of this game.
13:20 to play, 48-46 as Bellarmine not going to go away quietly here tonight, as you would expect. The number 4 team in the country trying to battle back here after the Oilers had taken a 7-point lead at one stage.
Yeah, they did. You saw the Oilers, they were really threatening to push that up to 9 or 10, and then a couple of plays that did not go well for Findlay at the offensive end led to baskets there in quick succession there for the Bellarmine Knights, and then they were able to come back, and now you look at it on the scoreboard right now, and you got Findlay nursing a 2-point lead here, as looks like Sullivan will remain on the bench here for at least a little bit longer, trying to see if they can buy him a little rest to have him come back strong for the stretch run.
Ferris State Bulldogs in action here in the nightcap, 7:30 p.m. against Lake Superior State, as the Bulldogs 20-0 here at home this season. Try to win their 21st game here in Big Rapids this year. With it is Parker Chitty here at the top of the circle for the Knights. Left side to Eberhard. Down low with it is Cook, who squares up on Overheiser. Back near side out top to Chitty. Chitty lost the handle. Good hustle by Overheiser, but Bellarmine able to keep possession alive. Now it's Bach at the high post, spinning to the hoop and up and good.
Great shot right there. Had a defender, got a little bit of a bump from the defender. He was able to hold his position, rise up, and hit that shot.
We're tied up at 48 as Bellarmine has battled back from a nearly double-digit deficit. With it on the far side, here's Gardner into the lane off the right side, an arcing shot.
Oh my goodness.
Somehow got the friendly roll here in Big Rapids.
Wow, and the bonus points continue here for the Oilers there. That's something that they will definitely take there. Is not necessarily one of their big scorers contributing.
Head coach Scott Davenport for Bellarmine just kind of shaking his head, thought his team had played pretty well defensively on that possession. Eberhard with it on the right side, and a blocking foul going to be called here on Matt Ashley as we see Sullivan and Kalig set to come back on here for the Oilers.
I was wondering how long Sullivan was going to sit. Martise Kimbrough going to get a little bit of a blow here as well, and so see if they can buy some time here with Kimbrough on the bench before they come back with him. And not sure Sullivan going to get much of a rest here in the last 12-17.
That'll be the fourth team foul, though, on Findlay. None on the Knights here in half number 2 with 12-17 to play. Knights will inbound to Cook on the leaner in the lane and up and go.
Yeah, great job there. It's almost a blind pass right there as Findlay had a guy right there and kind of trusted that Cook was going to be right there with that athleticism.
Over on the left side, down low, Sullivan off the block, back near side to Kalig. Now it's Trey Smith. Smith inside out to Kalig. Kalig into the lane. Looking down low, comes back to Smith. 12 of the shot clock. The Oilers trying to set up the offense again. Gardner on the left side. Smith at the high post. Sullivan from 15, well off the mark. And Knights able to run an extra defender at him, and now a foul here on Findlay on the trip up the floor.
I think Coach Ernst has seen enough of this. He's got to get a few more guys back into the game and go into this timeout. 50-50, we're tied.
11:46 to play. You're in tune to Ferris State basketball in the NCAA Division II Midwest Regional Tournament hosted by the Bulldogs here inside Jim Wink Arena. Game number 1 here in the regional semifinals. Game number 5 overall here in this Midwest Regional Tournament. Had 4 quarterfinal round games yesterday that were all pretty exciting, especially in the first half. This one we expected today to go to the wire, and certainly it looks like it may do just that.
Yeah, this has been exactly what we expected here to this point.
Findlay Oilers and the Bellarmine Knights, both teams in the huddle right now here at Wink Arena at this media stoppage and trying to talk some strategy here. We saw Findlay really take control early in the second half, but now it's Bellarmine that has seized back and tied it up at 50.
Yeah, you know, good to give credit to Bellarmine because it was an interesting stage of the game. When you mentioned it, Findlay was up by 7. Everything was going well. You had Terrence Sullivan was cooking. Martise Kimbrough was starting to come on. And then all of a sudden, a couple of turnovers. Things did not go well for Findlay. And then 4 straight points there for the Bellarmine Knights. And then all of a sudden, they're right back into the game. And here we are tied at 50 and setting the stage here for a pretty exciting here, final 11:46.
Bach now with 17 to lead the Knights. Sullivan has 20 here on the Oilers side. As Kimbrough is yet to score here in the second half, has 12 here for Findlay, and Cook with 12 here on the Bellarmine end. It'll be Bellarmine basketball as Bach will orchestrate the offense over on the right side to Fleming back on. Oilers going zone here. And a little 2-3 look here for Findlay. Almost a 1-3-1 type defense as they mix it up here against the Knights. Eberhard in the corner, takes a couple dribbles on the baseline, skips it over the top to Bach, who skies the catch. Now working off the dribble to the hoop, feeds it back to Eberhard, who lays it up and in.
Yeah, great job there as Bach really saved that basketball from going out of bounds, getting up and ends up getting a basket out of it, and the Knights have surged in front.
52-50, top side with it is Alex White. Over on the left side to Schmock. Down low with it is Sullivan against Parker Chitty. Sullivan off the block, tried to use the blind pass across, and Eberhard picks it off.
I'll tell you why, you mentioned trying to pass out of that double team. He's trying to read it. He knew the double, maybe the triple was coming from somewhere, and he was trying to read it, ended up throwing it away.
Near side out top, here's Parker Chitty off the left side on the dribble. Working against Kalig. Inside out to Bach. Bach will pull the trigger for 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Shot just rattled away. Tip in no good by Cook. And a foul on the rebound. And this will be the first foul on the Knights here in the second half.
I'll tell you what, great job competing there by Bellarmine on the floor, but you got to give Terrence Sullivan a lot of credit, Rob. Went up there and grabbed that rebound. Had to have it there after they missed the tip, did Bellarmine.
This is a Bellarmine team with a lot of length on the floor as Cook going to pick up the foul here for the Bellarmine Knights, both with Cook inside along with Eberhard, 2 long bodies here for Bellarmine in the front court.
Yeah, not only long, but guys that are mobile, athletic, and they really make it difficult on you from a defensive standpoint.
Out front with it is Schmock running the offense. Got Coles to fall off balance. Now they'll reset it to Sullivan. Near side wing with it is Trey Smith, driving on the near side off the glass, could not finish, but White tips it up and in.
Yeah, great job, White. Right place at the right time. The big body able to tip that in from the weak side.
They're tied back up here as Findlay has knotted it up at 52. Just over 10 to play as Bach will handle out front here at the point. Off the right side working against Kalig, leans in but blocked from behind by Alex White, who is trying to make an impact at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, White was reading where that was going to go, where that play was going to go, and did a good job of trailing behind, not letting it go, and he's able to block it out of bounds.
Baseline inbounds play by Fleming. Near side corner Bach swings it out top to Eberhard. One dribble back out to Coles, who will put up the three and good.
Big time shot right there. The extra pass leads to the three, and here are the Knights up by 3 with 9:50 to go.
Schmock will get the call from head coach Charlie Ernst along the Findlay sideline as he'll set it up. Here now looking down low for Sullivan on the far side, just off the block at mid-range. Sullivan squares up on Eberhard and now tries to move it all the way across the floor. Back near side corner to Schmock behind the back. Dribbling into the lane. Tommy Schmock found an opening, scoops it up and rejected. Cook pulls it down, and here comes Bellarmine. Bach up the floor, right side hesitates, goes back to the hole, but had the pass stolen away to the backside by Sullivan, and Fleming no choice but to foul.
Yeah, he got caught in a difficult position with Sullivan coming right at him, and kind of didn't have much choice but to commit that foul as Martise Kimbrough back in after a long rest.
So he'll come back on, as will Gardner here on the Findlay side, and Ramser going to come in off the bench here for the Bellarmine Knights. As Bach made a nice move to the hole, then saw the defense closing in, tried to move it across the floor, and Sullivan in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he did, and this is the end right now where Sullivan coming back in there is going to have to be that go-to guy, but also Kimbrough, like that he got a nice long rest. We'll see if he can come back sharp.
Kimbrough comes off the right edge here out wide, now to Sullivan. Back to Martise Kimbrough, down low to Alex White, working against Cook inside. The high hook up and good.
I'll tell you what, more bonus points right there as they go inside to the big man, and that's a great way to attack this Bellarmine team.
Back within one at 55-54 are the Oilers. Topside with it is Ramser. Ramser will hand off to Coles, who will reset the Bellarmine offense here. The Knights wear the white jerseys with the maroon colors here tonight in Big Rapids. Baseline Ramser squares up on Sullivan into the lane, puts the shot up and good.
Nice job again, able to cut right across that lane, and not a lot of resistance there from the Oilers as he got right into a sweet spot right in the middle of the lane.
Ramser, a 6'5 junior out of Louisville, Kentucky. Sullivan left side. Oilers trail by 3. Here's Kalig over on the left side, back to the point. Now to Gardner on the wing on the far edge. Topside with it is Sullivan here for Findlay wearing the black. Now to Kalig, off the dribble, back to Sullivan. Sullivan from downtown for 3 off the back edge, and rebounded by Coles.
Oilers right now are hoping that Sullivan is not cooling off here a little bit, because it looks like this Bellarmine team is starting to hit its stride.
Right wing with it on the far side. Here's Ramser on the attack. Back to Bach here near side. Driving to the hole. Could not finish. Rebounded inside, and the putback by Cook is up and good.
Yeah, Cook right there putting that work in to get that basketball back and putting it up and in. 5-point lead, 59-54.
Sullivan will handle out front here for the Oilers. Back to Gardner. The Oilers need a basket here with 7:38 to play. Sullivan, right edge to White. White with one dribble back to Gardner. Shot clock down to 12 for Findlay. Hand off to Kimbrough here on the near edge. Kimbrough pulls up from the free throw stripe. Up and good, just inside the arc.
You called it. That was a big shot there. Kimbrough knew that they needed that one, getting it back to a 3-point game.
His first basket here of the second half as the Oilers are back within 59-56. Out top with it, here's Cook. Now to Bach, back to Coles, over on the right side of the floor. Top side with it is Fleming. Now near side to Bach, back over to Fleming on the right edge. Inside of 7 to go, 7 on the shot clock. Near side corner, Coles from downtown connects.
Big time shot right there from the corner, and number 21 is stepping his game up here tonight.
6-point lead now, Sullivan on the attack, and a hand check going to be called on the far side wing, and this will be team foul number 3 on the Bellarmine Knights.
Yeah, big time shot there by Coles, taking this Bellarmine team into the timeout, up by 6.
62-56. We'll be back with more coverage of the NCAA Division II Midwest Regional after this break on Ferris Television and the Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome back, everyone, to the NCAA Division II Midwest Regional Tournament here at Jim Wink Arena in Big Rapids. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you, where the number 2 seeded Bellarmine Knights lead the 3rd seeded Findlay Oilers 62-56 here with 6:45 to play. And Oilers in need of a basket and a couple stops here at the other end.
Yeah, exactly, but this is the end where they got to start to make it happen here as they get the nice slip inside to White.
White lays it up and in on the reverse lay-in as the Oilers are back within 4.
Well, White is really crafty around the basket, and they are finding a way. Here's Coles on the drive.
He feeds it off to Eberhard, blocked away from behind by Sullivan, but the Oilers could not save the ball from going out of play.
Sullivan coming from behind, knocking that one away as Eberhard looking, had to be thinking that was going to be a layup, but great job there coming from behind by Sullivan.
Eberhard going to inbound. Out top with it on the right wing is Box. 6:20 remaining. Parker Chitty out front, now near side. As Coles goes down low to Cook, he squares up right at Sullivan. Now into the lane. Cook leans in, dumps it off of the baseline back to Eberhard. Eberhard trying to work around White, cut off in the paint. And now inside out to Coles with 6 on the shot clock. Deep
short.
3 on the way, well short. And Kimbrough with the rebound.
Nice stand there by Findlay. Let's see where they go offensively and see if they try to go back to Sullivan. They've had good success with White of late.
Kimbrough, a handoff to Gardner out top as they run Kalig along the baseline. Now he'll cut back through here to the near side. Sullivan on the left point. Picked up by Parker Chitty, trying to reach in against Sullivan, who's got a little bit of a size advantage here. Working off the dribble. Sullivan squares up, shot on the way, up and good.
Not much you can do about that. That's a big-time player making a big-time play.
62-60, the Oilers have scored 4 straight, back within 2. Here with 5.5 to play in this regional semifinal. Holding out front now is Coles, who goes right side to Brent Bach. Bach with it topside, working off the screen. Now works right at Kimbrough down the lane, leans in and scores.
There you go, a big play there as he was able to spin and get his way down the lane. And actually, the only senior really in their playing group for this Bellarmine team, very young team.
Kimbrough with it, far side corner, 64-60, the lead back to 4. Near side, Kimbrough goes back to Sullivan on the left side against Bach. As Sullivan awaiting the double team, comes back to Kimbrough, the swing to Kalig. Kalig pulls up off the head fake and connects.
Great job sharing the basketball right there. Kimbrough fumbled it a little bit, might have taken that 3 had he not fumbled it, but he gets it to Kalig, who works his way into a shooting spot.
2-point difference now as the Oilers looking for a stop here defensively with 4.5 to go. Near side Bach out wide against Kimbrough, the senior. Now the pass underneath the Cook was tipped, but back into his hands for the lay-in.
Well, sometimes better to be a little bit lucky than good, and in that case, a good team got lucky and ended up with a basket there as Cook, good hands to catch it and finish.
Gardner with it over to Kimbrough at the point out wide as he works right at Brent Bach. Kimbrough off the dribble, trying to use the hesitation dribble, now comes back to Gardner. Gardner with it, cut off by Coles, back to Kimbrough in front of the Oiler bench here on the right side. 6 on the shot clock. Kimbrough from downtown could not get it to fall, and a foul on the rebound as White was battling, and it's going to be called here against the Oilers.
White nearly had it, and then by the time he was able to get himself back together, he ended up committing the foul, trying to get it away. 4-point lead for the Knights at 66-62, 3:59 to go.
This one far from over here at Jim Wink Arena in Big Rapids, a rematch of last year's Midwest Regional title game, won by the Knights rather, as they moved on to the Elite Eight a year ago after Findlay had beat Ferris State in the regional semifinals down in Louisville in a very close game. Really gave the Knights a strong effort on their home floor, but Bellarmine was too much in the end playing in Louisville last year as they moved on to the Elite Eight.
They're a good team, and you can tell the way that they get some things done is sort of like the Bellarmine way, as they are used to playing at a high level and playing and running their system really well. And you're seeing that again right here as Brent Bach, really the only senior in their playing group. And you look up and down that roster, a lot of sophomores, juniors on that roster, and yet they continue to play at a high level.
For the Findlay Oilers, maybe the final run here tonight for Terrence Sullivan and Martise Kimbrough. And those two, along with Kalig, do not want to go out with a setback here tonight in the regional semifinal.
Well, you can see it, and they're competing like it too. And I expect here in this last 3:59 of regulation that those two guys in particular, those 3 guys, throwing in Kalig along with Sullivan and Kimbrough, they're going to give it everything they have right now because they do not want their careers to end.
Gardner on the floor, also a senior here for the Findlay Oilers, as Trey Smith will come back on as well. 5'10" junior out of Ashland, Ohio, playing for the Findlay Oilers. It'll be Bellarmine basketball here as White picked up his second foul prior to that stoppage, and that was the third team foul called against, actually the 16th foul called on Findlay, 3 on the Bellarmine Knights. Out top with it, the Knights will hold as Coles wants to run the offense here inside of 4 to play. 3:45 and counting, 15 on the shot clock. Cook on the left side in front of the Bellarmine bench just next to us. Back to Coles, now over to Bach on the right side, inside at 10 on the shot clock. Down to 6 seconds. Here comes Bach driving baseline against Smith. Blocked away from behind, but up and good.
What a shot right there. They had him bracketed. They had a guy in front and a guy in back, and he was able to power it up and in, and that's your senior right there making a senior play.
Lead grows to 6 at 68-62. Smith with it. Now to Sullivan. Sullivan back to Smith as the Oilers need a basket here. Smith into the lane. Inside out to Kimbrough. Back to Smith as they try to set it up. Looking for Sullivan inside. Here comes Smith. Baseline to White. 6 seconds on the shot clock. 3 to play. Kimbrough from downtown. 3 ball on the way. Up and good.
Big shot there by the senior guard. A huge, huge basket. 68-65. Oilers trying to come back.
Just heard one of the Bellarmine assistants say that they did not want to shoot, but Kimbrough, a guy that did want to shoot as he knocks it home. With it on the right side of the floor here for Bellarmine. The Knights work it in the corner. Bach off the screen from Eberhard. Into the lane, draws the switch. He's got White on him, and White rejects the shot. Sullivan with the rebound here defensively. Chance to chip into a 3-point lead. Here's Kimbrough to the hole. Up and good, and he's fouled.
Big shot there by Kimbrough. 5 straight by Martise Kimbrough.
2:28 to play, and the Oilers a chance to tie it up. It looked like Bellarmine was taking control and would have a chance to pull this one out, but the Oilers not done just yet as Martise Kimbrough, the senior, trying to finish his career on a big note.
We talked about it a little bit coming out of that one time out. These guys, these seniors, do not want to see their careers end, and just when you thought it was bedtime, Martise Kimbrough now willing this team back with 6 straight points.
2:25 to play as Bellarmine has possession. We're tied up at 68 here in the regional semifinals at Jim Wake Arena. Been a great one so far here in game number 1 tonight. Handling out top is Coles off the screen. Over on the right side of the floor, inside out, Bach from downtown, up and good.
Big shot there by Brent Bach as he continues to fill it up, leading this Knights team now with 24 points.
Inside at 2 to go here in Big Rapids, 71-68. Bellarmine in front here against Findlay. Sullivan out front here for the Oilers. Over on the left side, Kalig from downtown trying to answer. Did not get it to fall, but Kimbrough with the rebound. Underneath the Gardner who lays it up and in.
What a rebound there by Martise Kimbrough. Went up over everybody, pulled it down, and got it to his man for a layup.
71-70, 95 seconds left. The Oilers do not have to foul right here as they've got plenty of time left on the clock. A bump right there, but no foul was called as Scott Davenport right in front of us lobbying for potentially a call. Bach with it on the right side of the floor, cut off on the dribble drive, comes back out top. Now here's Coles who nearly had it poked away, down to 5 on the shot clock. Eberhard from downtown could not get it to drop, and Gardner with the board.
Big stage right here as now we got it on an odd number, a 1-point game, and chance for the Oilers to regain the lead.
1 minute left to play. Findlay down by 1 with the basketball. Sullivan out wide to White. Left side, Kalig back to White on the give and go, and he lays it up and in.
And a big-time basket there, and a timeout by the Oilers to set their defense. The Oilers back in front by 1, 72-71.
55.1 seconds to play here at Jim Wake Arena. The University of Findlay Oilers trying to move on to the regional championship game again here this season, and trying to battle back here from what was a nice lead for Bellarmine. Martise Kimbrough, the man that's really came alive here for the Oilers.
Yeah, you got to give Martise credit. He has really elevated his game at that stretch where he had 6 straight points and to help them get back into the game and to tie it. And, he really a big part of what they've been able to do here late down the stretch. You're coming out of this timeout, Rob, and if you're Bellarmine, who are you going to go to? Brent Bach has had a huge game, 24 points, 9 of 16 from the floor. When you think of who can create a shot off the dribble, you look at Brent Bach, you look at Jarrett Coles. Those are 2 guys that are going to be maybe having the opportunity to create shots right now, and it looks like Jarrett Coles is going to get that basketball first there as Cook going to inbound the basketball. 55.1 seconds to go.
72-71, Findlay with the 1-point lead as the Oiler fans on their feet over to our right here behind us. And it'll be Bellarmine basketball as the Knights with a big possession right here offensively will put it in the hands of Jared Coles. Cook with it on the right side to Eberhard at the point. Picked up by Sullivan now on the switch. Now it's wide up on him. Cook down low. Looking back top side. Wire with it. Now over to Bach.
This is the man right here.
Bach with it off the dribble against Trey Smith. Now Gardner on the switch. Here comes Bach to the free throw line. On the way and good.
I tell you what, 26 for Brent Bach.
And the Oilers have about a 1-second differential here. The Knights have a couple fouls to give, though, so we'll wait and see what happens as Findlay will take timeout.
Yeah, they're going to get Kalick back into the game right here. What a classic we've seen here tonight. Brent Bach with a big basket there and eventually worked his way back into his hands. You're thinking, who's going to take the big shot? Will it be Jared Coles? Will it be Brent Bach? And Bach stepping up, making a big play for points 25 and 26 in the game.
73-72. Bellarmine with a 1-point lead here, 25.2 to play. The shot clock at 24 seconds, so about a 1.2-second differential. But the Bellarmine Knights, with just 14 fouls, have a couple to give potentially here to maybe run some of that time off the clock.
Yeah, for all intent and purposes, it's basically even right now in terms of how this game's going to play out. But you called it right there, an opportunity for Bellarmine. If Findlay is dribbling the ball back out high, maybe around midcourt, you might consider taking a foul right there, keep making them inbounding the basketball, and keep run time off the clock. So we'll see if that's going to be the strategy here of Coach Davenport and the staff. As, again, you don't want to let them get the ball into Sullivan's hand and have him be able to create one-on-one with a lot of time left on the clock. So we'll see how this plays out. And I tell you what, a great game, great finish here coming up in what has been just a classic between these two teams.
If the second game tonight is anything like this one has been, we're in store for a good one between Ferris State and Lake Superior State.
Yeah, I tell you what, you're absolutely right, and this one has been exactly what we thought it was going to be, and so Gardner going to inbound the ball.
From the sideline here, Sullivan back to Gardner as the Oilers will set up their offense here down by 1 here in the closing seconds. Shot clock down to 17. Far side of the floor with it is White. Back to Kimbrough out top, and Bach will pressure him with the shot clock at 12. Findlay going to try to play perhaps for the final shot. Here comes Kimbrough down to 7, trying to get the shot away. Off the left side, pulls the trigger, could not get it to fall, but followed his own rebound, and a foul called on the floor here with 2.5 seconds left.
That's going to give Findlay a chance to run an out-of-bounds play here, as it looks like Coles, I think, got that foul.
So a foul called here on Bellarmine. Credit Kimbrough for following his shot right there to secure possession, and a box look here with 2.5 to play. We'll see what Findlay has drawn up right here. Shot clock off, looking for Sullivan. Gardner trying to get it in. Does to Kalick, who puts it up at the buzzer. And it rattles away, but he's fouled with 1.2 seconds left.
And he's going to have a chance, I think, to shoot 3 free throws here. 3 free throws.
The crowd behind us here on the Bellarmine side, not in agreement with the call, but the Findlay fans excited here as Elijah Kalick will head to the line. 6'3" senior from Fort Recovery, Ohio, with the Oilers trailing by 1 here with 1.2 seconds to play.
Boy, you just don't want to foul the three-point shooter. Even a good one like Kalick, as Kalick first free throw up and nothing but net, tied at 73.
Tied up here as he'll have 2 more to go with 1.2 seconds left. Foul was on Cook, who picked up his 3rd. Second try by Kalick, nothing but the bottom of the net right here. And it's 74-73 Oilers as timeout is called here by Bellarmine.
Oilers taking a 1-point lead, and what a finish here. And we're not done yet. 1.2 seconds to go, and Kalick still got 1 more free throw right here to potentially make it a 2-point game. And I think Oilers right now trying to see where they're going to be making sure that everybody's on the same page here. But Kalick right now, Rob, a chance to put them up by 2 if he can make this. And then you're looking at maybe some magic that the Bulldogs saw down in Ashland, Ohio, where the long pass from Meacham to Furlick for the big 3. And that's kind of maybe what Bellarmine might be looking for right now, is they're going to need some help right now.
The Bulldogs had about 1.2 seconds left as well as Kalick went up to shoot, and Cook got him on the arm as we look at the replay, and I thought that was a pretty good call on thinking that the alternate official looking at it in agreement with that call as well.
Well, you know, it's an old street ball move. Sometimes you try to tap a shooter on the elbow there and throw his shot up. And Kalick actually almost made that. That shot rattled in and then popped out. And so it was about halfway down before it popped out. And so putting a good free throw shooter at the line here. And so Kalick here, again, a chance to put them up 2. But a three-pointer can beat Findlay, providing he makes this. But you got to have a good strategy right now.
Kalick will be at the stripe to shoot one more, 74-73, 1.2 seconds left as he eyes the basket right here. Free throw is on the way. Kalick misses this one. Cook with the rebound, as I think that may have been an intentional miss here, and they've got 0.5 of a second left.
Yeah, they're going to see if they're going to see what they reset it to there. Is he did touch the basketball, so I think they might let this stand.
The official going to talk with the clock operator here.
0.9.
They'll put 0.9 seconds up there. So just inside of a second to play as the official will look at the Bellarmine bench here, and it'll be the Knights to inbound at the other end of the floor. 0.9 seconds left as it's 74-73, and we're going to keep it right where it stands.
Well, sometime it's going to lapse. He did touch the basketball. Here it is, Rob.
They throw it up the floor. Ramser has it tipped away by Sullivan, and that will do it. The Findlay Oilers upset the Bellarmine Knights 74-73 to move on to the regional championship game here on Tuesday night.
What a great basketball game here between the Bulldogs, and actually we might take a look at this here, but great job. It might be 0.1 seconds here. The alternate official was on his way away here, but they're going to pull the teams back here, and we'll see how much time is left on the clock, if any. It was 0.9 seconds to go, and then Terrence Sullivan with the tip. So if they do call it a tip out of bounds, then that would give Bellarmine the basketball in the front court, and that could really change the complexion of this game. So this might not be over yet.
We'll wait and see as the officials will confer with the replay and the TV truck, as they will look at that final play, and certainly can't fault the effort of both of these teams here tonight in what's been an outstanding basketball game.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal basketball game here, and I don't know if I'm any fans. I'm not walking out of this building right now, even if I'm a Findlay fan, no matter how happy you might feel, because if they put even a 1/10 or 2 of a second on the clock, and it's over.
It will be over as the Bellarmine Knights fall to the Findlay Oilers 74-73. Both teams will shake hands in what has been a tremendous season here for the Bellarmine Knights. One of the top 10 teams in the country all year long, and they fall to a very good Findlay team. Credit the seniors from Findlay for rallying this team back for the victory.
Yeah, they really did, and you know, you got to give them credit. They really stepped it up. Martise Kimbrough down the stretch, Rob. I thought he was huge.